Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 378 based on novel. So let's start. Forget it, since your excellency is alright, let's go back and leave early. After all parts of the demon world are in troubled times. The woman shook her head gently and said to Xiao Yang. As for the demon fate cave that Xiao Yang asked about, it was obvious that the two of them did not regard it as the same thing. After all, this thing is a well-known existence. There are countless demon spirits who go there all the year round but get nothing, because this is the most mysterious place in the demon world. There are hardly any demon spirits that can be found in person, so it is also a common phrase used by demon spirits to ridicule others. Let's talk about anything, anyway. Xiao Yang opened his mouth and said, just about to say something, but he saw the fierce anger of the caravan captain. No, you are trying to find a fight, aren't you? Still looking at my eldest young lady's national beauty, do you want to be lazy and not leave? I have to tell you, I usually kill someone like you, who doesn't know what's good or bad. Seeing this, the caravan captain approached Xiao Yang. His aura was awe-inspiring and full of oppression. In the early stage of 6-star fighting immortals, a mountain-like aura was blowing in his face. The body of this caravan captain was probably a supernatural being related to mountains. Xiao Yang. Seeing this, Xiao Yang didn't explain too much. He slowly raised his palm and held it against the caravan captain. He lay. Upon seeing this, the captain of the caravan held Xiao Yang with his palm. He also wanted to teach the latter a lesson and tell him to stay away from the eldest lady. Moreover, the eldest lady is kind by nature. How many things like this have happened? Again, they were almost killed by others for money a few times, so they would naturally be more careful. Good boy. Xiao Yang and He Lei just touched their palms, and they squeezed together without a smile, but after a while, He Lei's complexion and the blue veins on his arms bulged, obviously suffering from extreme pain. The tyrannical oppression, on the other hand, Xiao Yang's smiling face is like a normal person. I don't know if I can follow you back to Butterfly Valley. I think I should be able to help now, right? As for where I came from, I'm afraid I'm as stupid as you said. I also forgot. Xiao Yang said with a little regret. Miss. This. Seeing this, He Lei looked at the beautiful figure beside him in confusion. Apparently the only woman among the crowd was their confidant. My name is Daeki, you can go back with me, maybe I can help you. After speaking, the woman gently walked towards Xiao Yang, and slowly stretched out her clenched jade hand towards Xiao Yang. Nice to meet you. Xiao Yang also shook hands and said with a smile. It's just that the palm of this butterfly prayer is extremely white, and there is a faint aroma drifting away, as if there is some strange power. I have nothing to do, I'm going back. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Yang was returning to the tent, adjusting his breath, and making himself fit for the demon world as soon as possible. Even in the future, he would have energy to protect himself. Miss, this guy's strength should not be underestimated. The strength of the hand just now, to say the least, is more than the level of the 5-star fighting immortal. This kind of powerhouse is currently lacking in the family. He Lei said with a complicated expression. Let's talk about it, this kind of thing can't be forced, let's rest early, we will arrive at Shuijanya tomorrow, where there is probably a fierce battle waiting for us. Dai Chi finished speaking, and his body was not in a tent. Alas! Ever since Lord Monster Emperor disappeared inexplicably, strange things have been going on in the monster world. I think that Lord Monster World led us to attack the 3 realms in a row and beat them down. Yu Yin curled up, and calm was restored here. At this time, in the long dark night, far away from the habitat of Xiao Yang's people, there was a cliff of Shuijian Mountain surrounded by the sound of running water. Is the information clear? In a shady place behind the water stream, several mysterious figures emerged here. One of them, an old man with white hair, asked a few people around him in a contemptuous tone. Road. 3 elders, everything is clear. It is said that the eldest lady in Butterfly Valley is the one who is in charge of material delivery this time. Her own strength has reached the middle stage of the 6-star fighting immortal. In addition to the guard captain He Lei, the 6-star fighting immortal in the early days, the 2 6-star fighting immortals might be a little tricky. The guards around him couldn't help but hesitated when they heard the words. The surrounding mountains in Butterfly Valley are steep and steep. This is the only way to get in and out. When they arrive tomorrow, let's kill them all. The old man's eyes were cold and extremely frightening. Yes, 3 elders. Several people heard the words, and each set up some ambush in this water stream. The difference between demon spirits and human beings is reflected at this time. If the demon spirit itself is some spirituality related to rocks and soil, it can also exert a lot of power in the human state today. I don't know how the plans of the adults are going. It will take a lot of time to start the strategy from the edge of each demon country. Furthermore, the 100 countries of the demon world are now torn apart, and the flames of war are about to ignite. I hope we can capture the 10,000 demon kingdoms as soon as possible, and cooperate with many powerful forces to integrate the power of the demon world. Our demon realm is severely damaged, so we have enough strength to deal with the other 6 realms. Our demon world is the leader of the world. What humans are, in the final analysis, it's just coveting the demon pill in our spirit body, trying to absorb the essence of the demon pill or use it to refine pills. It's really a group of hypocritical creatures. The old man, the resentful eyes turned into resentment, and its human body was slowly illusory, becoming like a phantom of a huge dragon over 100 meters long, and the fierce aura, under the shroud of the night, was full of demonic energy. The next day, the sky was clear. Xiao Yang and everyone were heading towards the water cliff, but along the way, Xiao Yang found that, apart from the caravan captain He Lage and the eldest lady Dai Chi, who were friendly to him, the other guards complained to him. Quite deep. What do you say that you are white-eyed and eat free food or something? Xiao Yang was unable to refute this, and could only continue on his way. Mrs. in front of Shuijian Cliff, do you see? At this time, the guard in charge of exploring the road slowly came back, with a tone of inquiry. Captain He took the lead and told everyone to be optimistic about the supplies. After I came to the end, the water cliffs were surrounded by unattainable rocks, and there were special restrictions, so be careful. Dai Chi nodded lightly, her beautiful eyes looking through the surrounding soil, looking at the water cliff standing hundreds of meters above the soil in front of him. He said, "I'll break it too, and there seems to be some good things in it." Xiao Yang took a step forward and surrounded Dai Chi. For some reason, Xiao Yang's soul power was fed back to Xiao Yang. Something is definitely not simple. Even in this so-called intricate water cliff, there seems to be something that can attract Xiao Yang. Let's go. After some arrangements, everyone entered one after another, but they didn't know whether it was a blessing or a curse this time. With the entry of the caravan, this complex rocky water cliff was surrounded by a grey mist, and in the mist, there was a soaring aura rising to the sky. That is demonic energy, and it is still extremely strong demonic energy. In this water cliff, I am afraid that there is a powerful monster. Third elders, they have come in, but the temperature of this Shuijian cliff seems to have dropped a lot. Doesn't it matter? At this time, already lurking behind the rock, the elites of Demon Xuanzong couldn't help but say, "Keep your respective positions. Once they enter the attack range, attack them at all natural costs. I will deal with Dai Chi and He Lei in person." Okay. After a few people finished speaking, they were also closely waiting for Xiao Yang's self-injection. How long have I been sleeping? There are still some supernatural juniors. At the same time, a strange voice emerged from the depths of the central waters of the 100-meter water stream. Shuijian Cliff, this is a special area composed of rocks and a very spectacular waterfall, surrounded by ravines. The road is extremely rugged, there is only one trail, and the center is the place of the magnificent and vast waterfall. You don't seem to be a resident of our 10,000 demons kingdom. At this time, Xiao Yang and Dai Chi were at the back of the team. Dai Chi looked at Xiao Yang carefully, and said lightly, "Perhaps." Xiao Yang shook his head gently. This kind of thing is not easy to say. By the way, what is the fate of the demon? After a while, Xiao Yang still asked without giving up. Yuowan Dongshan is in a special void. If you want to find it, I'm afraid you have to go to the 10,000 demons kingdom first, so as to enter the ancient battlefield. Dai Chi said cautiously. Ancient battlefield? Xiao Yang hesitated. Now our demon world is in chaos. The 3 powerful men under the demon emperor, the black evil dragon wolf, the white bone evil king, and the Qianxiong tyrant, have divided the demon world into 3. Besides, there are also 7 demon kings. Integrate their forces and try to compete with the 3 leaders, and the ancient battlefield is their battlefield. I'm afraid it won't be long before the battle between them will break out completely, and there will be new changes in the ownership of the demon world. And now it's not just our country of 10,000 demons, other demon countries are also calling on their strong men to enter the ancient battlefield to help the forces they are loyal to fight. No matter how much military exploits are obtained, after the war is over, they will get good rewards. Reward. Dai Chi tried to analyze. After this place is over, it's really a good place. Xiao Yang said with a smile, and now the purpose is quite clear. Since this butterfly prayed to save himself, then calm down here first, go to WN Yarrow Nation before going to the country, supplement and strengthen in WN Yarrow Nation, take the initiative to resign to enter the ancient battlefield, and compete with these monster world powerhouses, at the same time. It is also to eliminate the sequelae of Xiao Yang's recent surge in strength. The ancient battlefield is the final battlefield of the major powerhouses. I am afraid that it will be possible to find the Black Dragon Wolf. At that time, the seal of the Demon Emperor will be broken. With the existence of this power, it will also have a huge impact on finding immortality and immortality. Help, everything is pretty clear now. Boom. With a sound, on the other side of the water cliff, round and round rolling stones descended from the sky with a fierce murderous aura. What's the matter? The strength of the horse in front was not bad, but under the sudden attack, they turned their backs and couldn't help but sit down. Miss Daeki, it's really fate. After the burst of violent energy ripples spread, a white-haired old man slowly walked out from behind the rock, with a thick murderous look on his hazy face. The third elder of Yarokshuanzong, Xuani. Dai saw this, a heavy look flashed in his beautiful eyes, and then his eyes turned slightly, and a tyrannical force spread out, and this force made Xiao Yang's mind. One move. It turned out to be spiritual power? Is this girl a supernatural being who cultivates spiritual power? Xiao Yang couldn't help but look at the delicate figure beside him in surprise. Go ahead and catch them. Catch it alive. Xuani snorted coldly, a green aura spread out from his body, and he grasped the eagle's claws and shot towards Daichi. Spirit formation. 1000 butterfly bunch. Seeing Xuani's stern attack, Daichi's eyebrows slightly frowned, and she snorted, a green energy ripple above her eyes suddenly spread, and they instantly turned into countless dancing butterflies, facing each other. Xuani left. What a terrifying method. Seeing this scene, Xiao Yang couldn't help but envied that this Daichi's spiritual power might be stronger than his own. Give this old man a hand and take it. Xuani didn't take it seriously, flipped his palm, and one of them crossed the countless butterflies and attacked them. Is the power gap too big? This old guy is actually a powerhouse in the late stage of 6-star Dozian. Seeing this, Xiao Yang shook his head weakly, but Xiao Yang was also quite curious about the battle between demon spirits. The battle of demon spirits is the same as that of human beings. First, they use fighting skills to compete. Only when their life and death are in crisis will they incarnate into their bodies and show their heart-pounding power. This is the unique ability of demon spirits. Butterfly. Seeing that Xuani's attack could no longer be stopped, Daichi called out softly, and then her whole body shook slowly, instantly turning into an inch butterfly. On the fluff of the butterfly, it is colorful and seems to carry countless mysterious powers. Even if you turn into a demon spirit body, it can't protect you. Fall for this old man, Xuani roared, and there were actually some ferocious phantoms of poisonous snakes spreading out from the palm of his hand. This guy's body is probably related to snakes. The colorful butterflies transformed by Daichi slowly fanned their wings, and a trace of colorful energy spread out uncontrollably. With the blessing of countless butterflies, this space was filled with a sense of silence. WAN Snake Cave. Without any hesitation, Xuani stabbed Daichi with the palm of his hand. The fluctuation of that level actually carried a touch of arrogance and ridicule. Not good. Seeing the phantom of 100 jong-sized poisonous snake appearing around Xuani's body, the colorful butterfly couldn't help trembling. It's over, the difference in strength between the two, and one is the kind-hearted butterfly spirit, and the other is the blood-devouring poisonous snake and thunder spirit. Whether it is the mutual restraint of the biological chain or the suppression of strength, the outcome of the two is naturally not any suspense. Hey! At such an old age, actually bullies a woman who looks like a flower like jade. It's really a disgusting stinky snake. Do you think so? Just when the phantom of the poisonous snake in Xuani was about to hit Daichi, a scornful laughter echoed over the entire water stream, and even a hand stopped Xuani directly. Clothes, the incomparably fierce attack dissipated in an instant. At this moment, Xuani just looked up at the thin man in front of him. With his strength, he couldn't see through this guy's strength, let alone what kind of creature this guy's body was. When he attacked, a faint ripple of 9-color energy appeared in Xiao Yang's heart for a moment, extremely weak. In an instant, Xuani's pupils shrank tightly, and his mind was in a trance. It seemed that when the 9-color energy appeared, the blood in his body could not help but surrender. The palm of his hand quickly retreated like an electric shock. There seemed to be something in Xiao Yang's body that made him fear. That feeling seems to be a more powerful supernatural being above oneself, That is a trace of power from the 9-colored swallowing python on Kalin's body. Even if it is not the source, the top bloodline among the snake creatures is enough to shock this guy. Where are you, holy? The body shook dozens of steps away from Xiao Yang's side. Xuani couldn't help but look at Xiao Yang with extreme vigilance. The scorching hot fluctuations that have cooled down are scorching themselves. From the perception of Xuani, I am afraid that only the strongest in their sect have that kind of fluctuations. Are you all right? Xiao Yang ignored Xuani, turned his head and prayed to die beside him. This girl was kind to herself, so Xiao Yang was naturally willing to protect her. Wang humming. The colorful paranormal butterfly was transformed into a human appearance, but the breath was quite weak. It was obvious that it had just consumed a lot of power under the prestige of Xuani. He is very strong, in the late stage of 6-star fighting immortals. After returning to his human appearance, Dai Chi covered his violently heaving chest and said, "Most of the butterfly valleys are supernatural beings like butterflies. This is already a well-known thing. Although Daeki is also a 6-star fighting fairy, he is not good at fighting, so he will be defeated so quickly. The power level is clearly divided. For a power and a country, the war lovers are basically men, and women are basically doing some logistical work of needlework. Do you need to stay alive?" Xiao Yang asked softly. "Boy, don't be mad." Xuani listened to Xiao Yang's words and couldn't help jumping like thunder. A vicious roaring energy snake behind him slowly condensed and tried to shoot at Xiao Yang, suffocating. "No need, it's just," Dai Chi said softly, but he had a lot of concerns in his heart. This guy is also the 3rd elder of the Yaoxian sect. If he fell into the hands of Xiao Yang, he would probably cause a lot of trouble. With a sound, a fiery red flame, like a dazzling arc of light, just flashed out of Xiao Yang's body, and immediately, with the help of Xiao Yang's figure, it blasted towards the latter. In an instant, Xiao Yang's hand blade with flames suddenly cut Xuani into 2 pieces. "No! It won't be so strong, right?" Dai Chi was originally worried about how difficult Xiao Yang would be to deal with Xuani, and whether there would be other concerns after success, but seeing that Xuani had no power to fight back, even a demon the spirit body didn't have time to use it, and it was Xiao Yang that killed him with a single blow. "The force is too strong. I couldn't control the force for a while." Seeing that Xuani was no different from a corpse now, Xiao Yang couldn't help frowning. Xuani was directly beheaded by Xiao Yang, and his human body was slowly shattered, revealing a body that was about an inch in size a day. It was a snake shadow about an inch long, and the snake shadow was full of an incomparably tyrannical green aura. Earth demon snake. Compared with Kalin's sky-swallowing python, it's far worse. Looking at Xuani's demon spirit body, Xiao Yang shook his head helplessly. However, Xiao Yang knew that at this time Xuani had been knocked out of his body by himself, but there was still a chance to recover, and the little snake in front of him was his last chance. After a while, the little snake just wanted to get out and ran away, but it was baked by Xiao Yang's great heavenly seed's flame, and immediately it was completely extinguished, dying. Above its body, a gleaming green light, the nuclei flickered out. "Yaro Dan?" Looking at this thing, Dai Chi couldn't help but be surprised. "Demon pill? What is this?" Xiao Yang also walked over with great interest. Looking at the green bead the size of a dragon's eye, he muttered, "It seems that Xuani's lifelong power is stored in it, somewhat similar to the monsters in the human world. The magic core is general. It seems that you really don't know anything. Then I'll tell you about it, Yarodan. This is the most important thing in our demon world, similar to the human heart, and the alchemist refines medicine pills. It must also be assisted by the demon pill. There are 2 ways to generate the demon pill. One is that the spirit is cast out of its own damage, and the other is that the direct killing of the spirit has a chance to drop it. However, the difference is that after the spirituality has passed through the catastrophe and transformed into a human being, the demon pill in the body will turn into a heart. They have the power of their own spirituality before the calamity, but the body has been separated from the category of spirituality. Even if it is if you kill them, there will be no demon pills, and they have become real human beings. Dai Chi explained patiently. It turns out that there is still this secret. Xiao Yang scratched his head and smiled when he heard the words. It seems that in the demon world, if he wants to refine medicinal pills, I am afraid that the so-called demon pills alone are enough to search for him. For a while, a scream emerged from the inside of the cliff. Apparently the confrontation between the 2 groups had already begun. Their leader is dead. I'm afraid you still need your help here. While Xiao Yang spoke, his eyes were directed towards the waterfall in the water lotus cliff, where there seemed to be some strange fluctuations. You go to maintain the team, I'll go in and have a look. Xiao Yang finished speaking, leaving a fiery red fire fox to protect Dai Qi, and immediately turned into a stream of light, heading towards the cliff. Is this guy a disciple who can't escape from the world? Seeing Xiao Yang's departure, Dai Qi has always been unable to imagine how holy Xiao Yang is, but after a while, he was also facing the team. Go, without the prestige of the three elders, other powerhouses are naturally not afraid. At this time, the inner center of the Shuijian cliff, which has an area of 100 meters, presents an arc shape as a whole, and in its center, some circular waterfalls fall from the top of the cliff and fall directly into the bottom of the cliff. During this period, the distance was about a few hundred meters from top to bottom, and there was a round lake with white flowers below. It is said that in the demon world, there are still some solitary spirits who like to live alone. Could it be? Xiao Yang came to a cliff and looked at the spectacular waterfall and lake below, unable to bear it. Stay muttered. The weirder the place, the greater the possibility of hiding treasures. Bang bang bang. Just when Xiao Yang hesitated, a water column suddenly emerged from the bottom of the lake and projected towards Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang snorted coldly, the flame enveloped himself, and he stopped the attack with a wave of his hand. Come out. While exploring the surroundings, he used the great heavenly seed flame to completely cover the entire water stream area, and Xiao Yang said slowly. A rare fire attribute. With Xiao Yang's method, huge bubbles gurgled out in the lake below, and a rather enchanting voice slowly emerged. This is a human being. And following the voice, Xiao Yang saw a pure and white creature slowly stepping on the lake. The dazzling anger of that guy's power was definitely not there. What kind of supernatural or conversion, but a genuine human being? What's the matter? Who are you? Xiao Yang looked vigilantly at the man standing on the water in front of him, hesitantly, but this guy's figure was rather dim, like a projection of nothingness. The voice just now, and even the breath just now had nothing to do with the man in front of him, but the man who appeared in front of Xiao Yang now, regardless of his breath or identity, surprised Xiao Yang. They were completely different. I am a human, from the human world. There is a monster who has imprisoned me. If you have the ability, then rescue me. In return, I can tell you one of the 10 major weapons in the monster world. I believe you will be interested. Yu Yin curled up, the figure disappeared in an instant like a dim candlelight, leaving only such an intriguing sentence. 10 tyrants. Xiao Yang heard the words, his pupils shrank tightly, and he lost his voice. Dakian world, the highest level of weapons, is called an artifact. Xiao Yang doesn't know how powerful an artifact is. However, since the master of the spirit world holds the spirit-killing sword, the artifact of the ghost realm, it can endanger the reincarnation-level powerhouse and artifact. The power is self-evident. The Great Thousand World is divided into 7 worlds. In the human world, they call themselves divine weapons. There are 25 divine tools in the human world. The birth of each divine tool will cause huge disturbances. The ghosts in the world are called evil soldiers. 2 evil soldiers, each of them contains a terrifying power that is unforgettable. Today, the artifact in the demon world is called the tyrannical weapon. As the name suggests, combined with the power of their demon spirits, it is extremely domineering and unmatched. Boom. At the moment Xiao Yang lost his voice, a huge tortoiseshell beast slowly overflowed the water surface. The tortoiseshell was depicted with the fluctuation of countless growth rings. This guy is probably also a supernatural being with a lifespan of more than 1,000 years. The calculation of supernatural life is different from that of human beings. All things in the world are supernatural. Only after the birth of self-conscious life can we begin to calculate life. Moreover, the lifespan of monsters is very long, but the appearance is quite difficult to change. It seems that the moment they become human, the faces and skins are basically stereotyped. The little guy with the fire attribute. Come down. A faint head was exposed on the top of the huge tortoiseshell, which formed a stark contrast to the fat tortoiseshell. Old guy. Xiao Yang temporarily forgot all other thoughts, raised his palm, and the incomparably hot heat swept Xiao Yang, and rushed directly at this monster. But at this time Xiao Yang felt that this guy was clearly a complete bastard. Boom. The hot flames turned into a scene of lava, but when it hit the tortoise shell, it was evaporated into bursts of white smoke. Obviously, the defensive power of the tortoise shell made one's complexion change. With a loud voice, the tortoise-shaped demon spirit shouted loudly, and countless water waves surrounded it, and then a Sanskrit sound slowly eroded Xiao Yang's mind. Forget it, you can't waste time here. The flames on Xiao Yang's body turned from fiery red to amber as soon as he finished speaking, and his divine and tyrannical aura was increasing. From this appearance, it was obvious that he wanted to solve this problem as soon as possible. Now the immortal flame and the immortal golden body are combined into one, and in order to sense the immortal and immortal space, Xiao Yang did not fuse the amber flame soul fire with the immortal flame, otherwise Xiao Yang's new holy flame would be enough to rank in the holy flame list the first 14 or so, but now the amber flame soul fire fused with the 4 holy flames is enough for Xiao Yang to squander. This is it. Looking at the hot amber flames throbbing around Xiao Yang's body, the turtle-shaped monster couldn't help but mutter, and there was an indescribable shock in his expression. The fire of the holy flame is not only absolutely suppressed in the human world, but also in the other 6 realms, otherwise the holy flame would not be the strongest force unanimously recognized by the world. How can it be? Holy flame? At this moment, the turtle-shaped monster couldn't help roaring, swinging its turtle tail violently to stir up the lake water below, trying to escape. Its strength is not as tyrannical as Xiao Yang's. If Xiao Yang adds the power of Saint Yang, I am afraid that this time, he will not have any chance of winning. Be honest with me, Xiao Yang didn't cremate his amber flame soul into a chain with his nonsense. He entwined this monster tightly. In the early stage of the 7-star dough and the use of holy flame, it was naturally quite easy to deal with this kind of guy. The turtle-shaped monster was originally a 6-star Dozian perfection level strength, but when facing Xiao Yang, it had no desire to fight. What's under the lake? Xiao Yang said softly after binding the monster, trying to use his soul power to see through, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't reach that point. Humph. I don't know what you are talking about. The turtle-shaped monster rolled his eyes at Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang didn't get angry either, but the amber chain flickered slightly, and a trace of holy flame injected into it, tormenting the monster beast protected by the huge tortoise shell to death. Don't, sir, please forgive me, I said what I said. The scorching lasted only a few minutes, and the turtle-shaped monster couldn't hold on anymore and surrendered. What's down there? What are you? What's your intention here? Xiao Yang asked in a series of questions. There is a very evil below. The turtle-shaped monster seemed to want to deceive Xiao Yang, but the amber flame soul fire contained the power of ghost face soul flame, allowing Xiao Yang to easily feel the spirit of this big guy fluctuation. When sensing this guy's flowery intestines, the flames erupted, causing him to let out a deafening scream. There is a human below. He seems to know some treasures in our demon world. I imprisoned them and tried to interrogate the whereabouts of the treasures. The turtle-shaped monster was honest and said word by word. Take me down. Xiao Yang said calmly. Here. After taking a breath, the monster said in a deep voice, and immediately jumped into the lake. I hope you don't play tricks, otherwise. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, he also followed. Gulu gulu. Xiao Yang followed the monsters to move under the lake water, and as the depth of descent increased, Xiao Yang felt a dampness rushing towards his face. It's here. After resting, the two passed through the lake to a simple house at the bottom of the lake that was isolated from the water. Is someone finally here? The two stood quietly outside the house, and suddenly a happy voice came from inside. Open the door. Xiao Yang said coldly. Damn. The tortoise-shaped monster questioned in dissatisfaction, gently opened the door, and sent Xiao Yang in. Because of his huge body, he could only wait outside. There are also aliens in the demon world who don't want to turn into human bodies. For them, the state of monsters has unimaginable powers, so they won't turn into human beings unless they have to. Finally someone came to save me. At this time, the man bound by the chains in the house felt a rather tyrannical aura slowly entering here, and laughed. Squeak. Xiao Yang was easily sent into the room, only to realize that the room was actually a separate space, with only a human being bound in mid-air, and some daily retro-looking tables and chairs. Just like a simple and classical wooden house. Brother, save me. As Xiao Yang entered here, the man who was surrounded by chains and locked in the middle of the wooden house couldn't help but rejoiced. Wait a minute, you said you know the 10 major weapons in the demon world. Xiao Yang walked over to him slightly, and he could smell a heavy and ancient smell from the iron chains, but the identity of this man should not be wrong. The difference between humans and monsters is that after being seriously injured, monsters will transform into their own bodies, while humans will not. Of course, the kind of supernatural powers that have survived the catastrophe and transformed into human beings are also similar to humans. Hey, let me down and I'll tell you. The man also pretended to be mysterious at this time. With his discerning eyes, he seemed to smell some strange breath from Xiao Yang. Even the preciousness of an artifact is extremely hot. You are a 5-star fighting immortal. How would you know? In my opinion, you are probably trying to deceive me, right? Xiao Yang slowly came to the bound man's side, and said with a smile. Hey, he is really a shrewd boy, but you are a human being. Although you have a treasure that hides your fighting spirit and demonic energy, if you encounter a big demon in the demon world, I am afraid you will have nothing to hide. And with the many grievances between the demon world and the human world, I dare to conclude that you will definitely be divided into 5 horses by the many strong men here. The man in the state smiled strangely, and seemed to see some details of Xiao Yang. Oh, there are 2 times, but just relying on this, but... Xiao Yang still shook his head, so he lightly sat on the table and chair beside him, regardless of what the man did. Damn, it seems that this guy doesn't cry without seeing the coffin, so he must be genuine. The bound man scolded secretly, then coughed a few times, trying to raise his voice. You came to the demon world, I'm afraid your intentions are not right? The man changed his tone this time. Speaking of business, don't waste my time. Xiao Yang was too lazy to pay attention to this guy. If he was doing this, Xiao Yang would immediately turn around and leave. Do you know the lord of the demon realm, the demon emperor? The man said in a serious tone. I'm here for him, tell me what you know. Xiao Yang looked at the man with energy. A long time ago, the demon world was still torn apart, with countless forces fighting openly and secretly, but the center of the demon world sat and watched with their detached status. For a time, the demon world was troubled by internal and external troubles, internal struggles, and the outside world was eroded by the human world. It was miserable. When the demon world was in dire straits, a young spirit quickly resolved the internal struggle in the demon world with the momentum of thunder. It is said that the absolute crushing of strength made all the realms of the demon world obey him. At that time, it was still before the First World War, and the name of the demon emperor was resounding throughout the Great Thousand World for this reason. After unifying the demon world, the demon emperor was noticed by the powerhouses in the center of the demon world. In order to find out the details of the demon emperor, the center of the demon world dispatched 3 reincarnation powerhouses to test the demon emperor, but there was no return. The 3 reincarnation powerhouses even have the most powerful ones who have set foot in the triple reincarnation realm, and they all fell into the hands of the demon emperor. It is said that the demon emperor had just stepped into reincarnation at that time, and he did not even have the first realm, but it can be obliterated. 3 reincarnations. Do you know the reason? The man said this time, subverting Xiao Yang's cognition, making Xiao Yang listen intently. This demon emperor is so powerful. Xiao Yang heard the words, only to feel a shocking ripple in his heart. Even if the difference in the realm of reincarnation is 1 level, the power contained in it is also very different. The demon emperor was able to obliterate 3 people with his own power. Reincarnation, and even more stepping into the triple reincarnation realm. The demon emperor's name is Tian Hen, and no one knows what his body is, and no one knows where he was born. He is gifted with extraordinary talent, and his power is extremely domineering. Soon after he unified the demon world, he entered the most mysterious demon fate cave in the demon world by himself. When he came out, he had a spear in his hand. The blood-colored spear is called the sky-splitting demon spear, and it is the 3rd-ranked artifact among the 10 major weapons in the demon world. It was with the blessing of the divine weapon that he wiped out the 3 reincarnation powerhouses. And the powerhouses in the center of the demon world can only let them grow. Since then, the demon emperor took his troops and left the demon world to attack the other 6 worlds. At that time, in the entire 6 realms, the 3 realms of ghosts, demons and Buddha were defeated by the demon emperor, but in the end, for some unknown reason, the demon emperor retreated when he was about to win. And the demon emperor has just retreated, and the evil race from outside the territory has attacked. The first war between heaven and earth has begun. The demon world has not lost much because of the existence of the demon emperor. After the end of the First World War, our Great Thousand World paid an extremely painful price to expel the evil races from outside the territory. The 7 worlds also formulated a rule that they would not interfere with each other and cultivate their own health, so the Great Thousand World became peaceful. The man explained this information in a succinct manner, and his eyebrows danced word by word, as if he had seen it with his own eyes. The demon emperor is indeed a generation of arrogance, but why was it suppressed by the seal later? Since the demon emperor was the supreme power before the First World War, he should have a reincarnation of the 3rd level. If he is less powerful, how could he be sealed by the master of the ghost realm, the powerhouse of the 3 realms of the devil realm and the Buddha realm? Xiao Yang wondered. Hey, this is going to start from the other side. The first battle of heaven and earth, with the power of the demon emperor and the protection of the center of the demon world, The demon world suffered very little loss, and after thousands of years of cultivation, the power of the demon emperor reached a new state of shackles. In order to break through this level, in addition, he is brooding about the human world, and decided to seal his own cultivation power into the human world, to understand the human world's 7 emotions and 6 desires, and to learn the unique insights of human beings on fighting skills. It was also at that time that the demon emperor met the unforgettable woman in his life. That woman is a member of the Holy See. She hid her identity and entered the same sect in Doyun continent to study with the demon emperor, and developed a strong love for each other. The sect ordered by the Holy See, and the demon emperor at that time was kindly shaken by the countless cares in this sect, decided to protect the sect. The two fought each other. In fact, they were in love with each other. Unfortunately, the Holy See woman thought that if this sect was obliterated, the Holy See would untangle her soul, and she could be with the demon emperor forever. It's a pity that all of this was seen by the powerhouses of the 3 realms. After the war, when the demon emperor returned to the demon realm with his seriously injured body, the powerhouses from the 3 realms brought their respective artifacts in the 3 realms and went straight to the demon emperor. In the bedroom, I tried to take revenge on Shui Ren, but in the end, I found out that the demon emperor had an immortal body, so he sealed it down for thousands of years. On the other hand, the Holy See woman completely reported the obliteration of the sect to the top of the Holy See, but what she received was the Holy See's killing order. At that time, she knew that she was only a chess piece used by the Holy See to clear obstacles. And this Vatican woman has a very high status in the Vatican. At that time, when the demon emperor was sealed, it was rumored that in order to prevent the lawless people from taking the opportunity to make trouble, it can only be said that the demon emperor fell. Love and hate, this Holy See woman has also completely stepped into the evil way, joined the foreign evil clan, and turned into the demon of light in the mouth of the human beings in the world. This is the origin of the demon emperor Tianhen and the demon of light. This video will end here.